What's poppin', people? It's Dante. Currently along the Schuylkill River Trail here in Philadelphia. I love riding my bike here. Lots of runners, walkers, etc. And yeah, it's just a good place to think. Lots of open space, beautiful river, trees, breeze, everything you really need to thrive. Just a nice endless path to walk upon, right? Where motivation is in your legs, the movement of your body. How to escape boredom. Embrace chaos, right? The beauty of street photography and why I love it so much is that it allows you to explore the unknown, right? What's on the other side, what's around the corner, right? You'll be surprised without any preconceived notions of what you will find. I believe that street photography becomes this superpower, right? Where you can find beauty in the mundane, and just carrying a camera along with you and snapshotting and making pictures, making notes of the things that you see. Yeah, it allows you to transcend and go beyond reality, where I'm actually interested more these days with the surreality, right? To go beyond the real. Black and white photography has been a real joy and pleasure. Where I actually think you got to return to the basics, to go back to the beginning, and to sort of reset, and to create anew, right? To see anew each day, to unlock new perspectives, and to sort of walk the same lane every single day, but find new ways of making pictures and making sense of this chaos in life. And yeah, perhaps through the medium of photography, we can get closer to life and get not only in proximity closer to life, but also spiritually, metaphorically, philosophically, etc. Yeah, it seems like a good way to think of it, where yeah, not only are we doing this sort of street photography thing, but we're also getting closer to humanity and trying to figure out what it all means. The more that I consider life and humans, it seems like the goal is actually to evolve, just in general, like where we don't want to stay complacent, we don't want to stay stagnant, we don't want to just even just like being sedentary, like being stationary, being seated. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a wise way to live, where like the real privilege and luxury in life in general is being outside under the sun, right? Where you can thrive. You know, but to be inside, that's where souls go to die. And so yeah, photography is kind of that excuse, you know, treating the camera as an excuse, treating photography as the excuse, the camera as a passport for you to go out there and to just explore, right? The goal ultimately is to evolve and to be in a constant state of change. And how to do that? Walk more, where you become more through the movement of your body. And yeah, I can't sit still. Maybe that's a good thing, right? I'm typically in a constant state of movement throughout the day. So if you're thinking, wondering, what's Dante doing? What's he up to right now? Constant movement. I'm just walking around. And I'm just curious, you know, I'm curious about the results when it comes to photography. What will reality manifest to be in a photograph, right? There's really nothing else about this to explore. It's a very simple question, right? I'm just curious about what a photograph will be. When you make pictures on the street, yeah, I think it's wise to think this way. Because when you actually, when you ask this question, I think it's one of those things that just sparks your curiosity. And yeah, ultimately curiosity is what leads us through life, right? Your curiosity, your courage to go out there and to do the thing. Right now I'm just sort of taking pictures of pictures. Here's a map, old photos of Philly. Yeah, maybe it's interesting to sort of take pictures of other people's pictures. Kind of go meta mode. Meta? Is that the new name for Facebook or something? Meta? Yeah, maybe that is a fun thing to do, right? Take photos of the historic photos. And then, you know, I think that just, you know, everything's fair game. With street photography, this is merely an ethos. It's just a way of seeing the world and doing things. And to, yeah, just embrace your intuition, ultimately, I think, is the name of the game. It's in the mundane, right? To see something, recognize something, And if it sparks your interest, yeah, just raise the camera, press the shutter. Recently been photographing blind a lot, where I'm not actually looking and sort of lining things up through the viewfinder, or the LCD screen rather, but I'm just kind of going with the flow and making pictures as I go. It's a very liberating feeling actually, because the camera becomes this connection or an extension of your eyes, mind, body, and it really is easy to use a compact camera. And I believe that street photography, everything in terms of the creation of art, period, it should actually be simplified and easy, and yes, simple is better. So keeping the camera in either P mode or AV mode is the best solution. Single point autofocus, snap focus, sort of just setting it, forgetting it, and just playing and sort of just embracing that childlike perspective where everything's kind of hectic, but you just have fun with it. What's funny, when I see people running, I kind of imagine, like, is there a lion chasing this guy right now? Like, everyone's kind of just like running on autopilot. It's like, what are we running from? Just a funny comment. I feel like when I see people running, I always just like visualize and have this like imaginative idea of like a lion or a bear or a tiger chasing them. It's funny. Today there was a marathon in the city actually. But yeah, there's something about being by the water, right? Being by water is inspiring. It makes you feel good. You know, everything really is connected when you consider the sun and the way it penetrates your eyes, your soul, setting your circadian rhythm, where the more sunlight you get, the better sleep you get, right? I get deep, good sleep when I embrace the sun more. If there's any days where I'm sitting still or not getting as much sun, I can significantly feel the difference in my physiology and my sleep, etc. But yeah, maybe there's something about the water as well. Just obviously hydration is key. When I wake up in the morning, I drank 3 liters of water this morning. I think to go beyond and just exceed your water intake each day is a good idea. Just prepare like you won't find any water for a while when you set out with your camera and go for a walk, to just sort of drink as much as possible in the morning. But really, the sun is the powerhouse of the world, right? Is it the mitochondria? Is the mitochondria the powerhouse of your cells? No, it's the big one. So I'm headed towards the South Street Bridge, it seems. You can also go straight that way, and the trail's going to open up and expand. They're going to expand the trail out to Gray's Ferry. So there's a skate park all the way down there towards the Art Museum, and then there's another skate park at Gray's Ferry. So perhaps one day there'll be this connection between the 2 skate parks. That'll be kind of cool. And 2 different parks to explore. But this trail specifically, I mean, it really does go for a long stretch, right? This is the boardwalk area, but it goes beyond, like, I think it goes like 100 miles into the state of Pennsylvania. But yeah, I love Philadelphia. This is my hometown, born and raised, birthplace of America, right? The history here is rich, and it almost reminds me of Rome in a way. Yeah, it's kind of a cool city actually, with all the history and different sorts of architecture. I love the architecture in this city, right? As much as I defy these big glass buildings or whatever, you know, just ignore them. But there is like this beauty in the juxtaposition between the new and the old as well. I actually find that interesting. But you know, if you just walk down Broad Street, we have like a mini Pantheon building, which is cool. Our city hall is the biggest municipal building in the country, beautifully constructed. And I think that the beautiful architecture just inspires greatness, where really like art at the end of the day is kind of like everything I've been thinking about, right? I love street art, firstly. I always find that street art is way better than conventional art in galleries. But a lot of things are artistic, right? The buildings that we construct, the paint on the ground, the way that we lay out streets, signage, logos, everything is art at the end of the day. And I feel as though my goal in life ultimately is to leave behind as much beautiful art as possible, to sort of propagate new ideas, hopefully inspire one other person to make more and to do more and to think more, right? To think freely. We must become critical thinkers, free thinkers. I think this is how we can evolve. And so when I consider the new ways of making art, I actually really love using ChatGPT, DALL-E 3 system, where you can create and generate anything that comes to your mind, right? Any visualization that you would like to sort of flesh out and come to life, you can use this tool that's literally built into the phone now to then propagate a new idea. It's incredible. I find that the use of AI has been one of the most liberating feelings recently, where you genuinely don't need to browse the internet. You don't need to go on social media. If anything, delete your Instagram, start a WordPress.org blog, host your domain on Bluehost.com, install the Astra theme, and become the king of your domain. So yeah, I think that the beauty of using ChatGPT AI is you can gather information in a sort of like offline way, where you don't need to go to Google, right? You just sort of ChatGPT it, and all the information is there. And you don't have to go down any rabbit holes or threads or use Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, all these social medias, podcasts, right? You can create your own sort of podcast where you speak back and forth with the all-knowing entity chatbot. And then if there's an idea you have, you can have an image generate and tweak it with your voice, with your words, or typing. But I actually believe that the new future way of writing is going to be through your voice, where using voice dictation on an iPad Pro has been incredible, or my iPhone, right? I never type. I feel like typing just gives you carpal tunnel. It sucks. Even using a mouse and keyboard for a brief period of time feels terrible, and it feels like it's bad for your health. Yeah, I don't like using mouse and keyboards or typing on my phone or iPad. I like to just speak to it, and having a chatbot to speak to and get information from is really convenient. And perhaps actually not trusting anything on the internet is a wise approach going forward because of the use of AI, right? Where if someone's on Reddit still and like typing in these anonymous forums, just assume that everyone's actually a bot, and to go offline, off the grid, think about and use the new tools, and yeah, just operate differently, create differently, think differently. Yeah, it doesn't seem like Google's gonna be that useful going forward, because we have the power in the palms of our hands now. We don't have to go through all these like advertisements. I think that's the downfall of Google, is all the ads and things they try to sell and show for you when you go on there. It's like you can kind of just cut through everything and just get straight to the point with AI, where yeah, we kind of invented our own new god and our own new sort of thing here. I actually think that coming to elevated places like this, where I'm looking out towards the whole city, looking out towards the river, and seeing people move, is a really good way to increase your mood, where you feel the power of the elevated spaces, right? When you're up higher and you can see out into the distance, even watching the highway and the movement of cars, everything is very inspiring up here, where you can think more, I think, while you're moving in the world. Firstly, like just by walking more, you can think more. And I can't get myself to sit still, maybe, where it's like, if you want to read a book or something, maybe the AirPods are a good idea to just do the Audible thing, and maybe like ride a bike and like listen to a book. Like maybe I should do that when I want to read stuff nowadays, because if I want to read, I can't get my, I mean, look, I can sit still, right? But I don't want to, right? And if I don't want to, then yeah, why should I do that thing? You know, I feel like it's a good way to operate and to live, is to just do what you want, right? Follow your desire, right? Follow your desire with what you photograph, and to not think too much about it, and to sort of just have a laugh, right? To not take life too seriously, to not take your photography too seriously generally. Yeah, I think that's just a smart approach, you know. And to have this sort of high contrast lifestyle where you're always doing something new each day, you're trying to do things differently each day, think differently each day, make new pictures. Yeah, no, you know, ultimately new pictures are the goal. How to get into this flow state of making new pictures: simplify the process, right? The small JPEG high contrast black and white file from the Ricoh GR is beautiful and aesthetically pleasing to my eyes straight out of camera, where when I import the photos to the Photos app on the iPad Pro, I don't need to go through Lightroom, I don't need to do any tweaking or processing. I can just look at the 3 images in a grid and select the small thumbnails, favorite each one, and then upload them to Google Photos and publish them straight to my blog on my own website, where it seems like social media comes and goes. It's always ebbing and flowing, always changing. I think the landscape of social media is going to change drastically. Even photography. Yeah, it seems that media production is just a good solution to boredom, where I merely make these videos and flesh out my thoughts, podcasting, photographing, to learn as I go, where when I speak I can actually think clearly, I can actually repeat things over and over again. When I walk, a lot of the time without the camera on, I like to just speak out loud anyway. So this is just a way for me to play with my thoughts and to sort of go freestyle, right? Where you kind of just go unscripted, candid, sort of street vlog approach, I think is a good way to think about it, right? The street vlog, I thought of it like a freestyle vlog. Yeah, it's much more interesting to me. And I think that the POV, right, using the GoPro Mini 720p, right, I export the videos from 1080p to 720p. I think it's good enough, and I like having just everything being a small file. And this feels like a video game, right, where you can see my perspective and actually yeah, maybe the POV is some of the most interesting sort of media that I love. And that's how I got into making videos ultimately, was doing street photography POVs. But to do POVs for everything, I think, is a cool thing as well, where you can share your life in this raw and uncut way that could hopefully one day outlive you. And yeah, thinking of your photography that way, the videos that you make this way, is wise to back everything up. I think Google Photos is a great solution. I like using Google Photos. It seems like that's a good place to upload. I want to make multiple mirrors in places where you can find my files, and so maybe I'll use Dropbox next, and to sort of set up multiple backups and have everything be open source, right? I think is a good idea. Even considering the Magnum archive, right? Where's the Magnum archive? Maybe you have to pay for it or something, I don't know. But I remember being in college and having a search bar, typing in any kind of photo I want to see, and everything was visible. I could look through the archives of all the great photographers, but yeah, it seems to be hidden or sequestered or something. I think it's more interesting for it to just be open, free, anyone can download. In this brave new digital world, we must consider the archive, and to consider where the portfolio of the artists live now, right? Where I'm not interested in the gallery. I'm more interested in the digital world, and yeah, being a digital photographer, I think it only makes sense. And yeah, recently considering myself more like a visual artist in a way, where I play with the AI art now. I like doing calligraphy with the iPad, remixing photos in Procreate. I still need to explore more with what you can do with remixing images. It seems like finding multiple uses for your images is a good idea. Blogging, writing, thinking. I'm really interested in video. I think video is like one of my main focuses too now. And just trying to make video and make things that I like and that I enjoy and that I would want to watch. where I'm not interested in like views and followers, subscribers, like all this stuff. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. You just want a place on the internet, your website, to host all of your things. I think that merging with the technology, merging with the machine, and to embrace the new ways of doing things, in with the new, out with the old. I've been interested in this idea of futurism, embracing the speed, the new mechanical processes, right? Where I don't want to sit around and make these like perfect Mona Lisas and these beautiful works of art. I want to make pictures quickly and efficiently. Sherelle Parker for mayor. We got Sherelle. She will be the new mayor of Philadelphia. Voted for her. I remember they were giving away free t-shirts outside of City Hall. And it was for the 76ers. And everyone was like, it was the day to vote. But everyone was kind of distracted, I think. And I was just like, there's a video actually on my blog where I was like telling everyone to vote for Sherelle, guys, don't worry about the game. But yeah, it seems like voting by mail is the new thing. Yeah, you know, it's much more convenient for people to be able to put their ballots and stuff in. But I still think that there's got to be more efficient ways. I actually haven't looked at this sculpture before. Wow. There's so much hidden beautiful art in the city that you kind of just gotta go out there and find for yourself. But yeah, I think there's gotta just be like new way, like maybe AI. Like, could AI assist in the voting process somehow, or would that be like hackable or something? Like, I just think that, like, to me, it seems like a lot of times when I go to vote and I'm using, they have like these new voting machines, it just seems old. Like, it doesn't seem, I don't know, it just seems so old school to me or something. Like, there's just got to be a new way to vote, perhaps. I don't know. This is the new pickleball game they have. It looks really fun, actually. It's kind of like tennis, but a smaller, I don't know, like a smaller court, smaller, maybe the ball is lighter. It's more like ping pong to me. I don't know how, I really don't know how it works, but it looks really fun. They even have, outside of City Hall at Dilworth Plaza, there's always new events and things that are happening in the city. Like, currently, they set up the Christmas Village, which is incredible. It actually just opened yesterday when I got back from my flight. I saw it outside, and it was the first night it opened. There's like a Ferris wheel, ice rink, hot cider, all of these shops. It's actually the most incredible time to visit Philadelphia, I believe, is during Christmas season, during the holiday season, Thanksgiving and things. It's the best time to come to the city. And today I'm certainly going to walk around and explore the Christmas Village. I think that is it's just an incredible atmosphere. All of the people from the suburbs come into town. There's like a flock of people. I have some street photography POV videos from past years somewhere on the blog, and yeah, I actually really I really like this time of the year. You know, I like the kind of change of seasons, and I think just embracing the conditions, embracing the weather is wise. You know, it's better to be outside and to be a little bit chilly, I think, than to be stuck inside. Looks like they actually have like a farmer's market here. But yeah, it seems like just being outdoors in general is the way. And just bundle up. I think the Uniqlo things like this, let me show you this this hoodie from Uniqlo. It's got such nice warm material inside, and I'm wearing the vest from Lululemon. The down vest is really good combination for right now. It's like 45, 50 Fahrenheit maybe. Eventually I'll bust out the bigger coat, but yeah, it seems like they have really good heat stuff. Uniqlo is good. And then I don't know how these shoes are gonna hold up, but I have the Eco Wool and the 5-finger socks. I'll probably have to get better shoes when it gets like really freezing. yeah, they got bread and stuff, coffee. It's cool. Yeah. Just bundling up and going outdoors. It's much better than sitting around a campfire indoors eating s'mores. What a bore. I want to do more. I want to explore. To be on the street. To observe everything. And to embrace the moment is the ultimate joy in life, where the present is king, right? Forget about the past and the future for now. Just embrace right now. I mean, I think that treating every day like it's your last, right? To just imagine, right? You could die. Tomorrow could be today could be your last. Tomorrow you could not be here. So it's like when you wake up in the morning, it's like the ultimate motivator for me is this thought, as well as like new pictures, right? Like what new pictures can I create? What will manifest in a photograph? Like I'm curious about that question. So yeah, making new art, asking more questions through the process of making pictures. Maybe that's a good way to think of it, where each picture you make, it's like a new question that you ask. It's just a new, you know, I think actually like successful photos most of the time are, you know, leaving the viewer with like a question mark. There has to be some sort of punctum, some sort of interesting small detail that captures the essence or soul of the street, maybe. Beautiful street here. I mean, these old buildings are so incredible. Yeah, I think you know, smiling, laughing, just being more, you know, spreading more positivity. I don't know, it's just a small thing, but I think it goes a long way. You know, where we're in control of our state of mind, and you can achieve anything. Like, avoid people that are naysayers. I'd rather be optimistic and naive than skeptical and pessimistic, right? To believe in yourself is, I think, a critical thing. You know, to believe in something. Where perhaps having faith, you know, maybe that's where courage comes from, and that's where you become fearless, where we have to set fear aside to do a lot of to do things, I think. Especially in the realm of photography, actually, because, you know, we're out here embracing the streets, right? We don't know what could happen, and you know, fear is a good thing because it can help you. You know, it's like a good. It's good to have a little bit of fear where you could sense like what's. You know, you sense danger, but I think it comes through your intuition ultimately. You know, don't do anything stupid. Don't. You know, simple things. Just don't engage with. You know, like the mentally. What is the number? 501, 504s? What do they call it? Like the mentally ill or, you know, crazy people on the street. Yeah, just avoid them. There's nothing good that can come out of it. Sort of just know the like lay of the land of your city. Like, obviously I'm walking around this part of town and it's beautiful, and I know that I'm not going to embrace any of this sort of chaotic stuff or people. Look, Dante's crazy. I know that I'm crazy, but you know what I'm trying to say. Because really, you see a lot of shit in the urban cities these days. It's kind of wild. Like, I actually think, yeah, just don't go down the alleyways. You know, I thought that, you know, with my new like black and white sort of gritty approach, it was like cool to like walk down the alleyways and stuff and like take pictures of the grungy stuff. Really pay attention to the streets you walk on, you know. Like, don't maybe go down the dark alleyway at night, right? Like the kind of obvious stuff. But yeah, to be fearless, I think, is critical, actually. We must approach the street as a Spartan. What is your profession? How? I like to think of my walks like I'm marching. Just marching into this sort of metaphorical battlefield. Yeah. That's how I like to think, right? Like a Viking. There's some alleys and streets like this that are just incredible. You know, like these streets in the city are just beautiful. The more I think about beauty, I don't think beauty is subjective. I think beauty is an objective thing where, you know, like this tree is beautiful, right? These homes are beautiful. The flowers are beautiful. This garage is beautiful. Look at that wooden, is it wood? It looks like wood to me. That big wooden door. Yeah, there's some things that are just objectively beautiful, I think, and you know, there's others that are ugly, and I think to embrace beauty. Yeah, this is wise. Look at the color. Blue, red, green. So beautiful. Wow. You know, when something makes you say, wow, I think that's when you know it's beautiful. And these are all historically certified buildings. A lot of these are historically certified. They have these plaques and things. Even the lights, right? These street lamps and stuff. But yeah, if something makes you say, wow, that's when you know you're looking at something beautiful. I think it's like this, it's a gut feeling, right? When you see something beautiful, it shouldn't really be something that you have to like think about too much. Like when I look at like a lot of the modern condos that are those big glass buildings looming above in between these buildings, I'm like, yeah, that's ugly. It's just not beautiful. It's kind of an obvious thing. I've been thinking about design recently. Like I chose, for whatever reason, when I purchased my iPad Pro to get the big version. Yeah. It's fine, right? But I think the smaller version, it's better design now that I'm thinking about it, because it's more portable. I think in general, smaller is better design in terms of camera equipment. Like we don't want a big bulky camera. You know, just thinking simpler, smaller, yeah, I think is just better. So maybe, I mean, look, it's something that I'm learning as I go here. This was the first iPad that I decided to get and use. I've never used one besides this past, like, I guess I've been using it for 2 years now, maybe almost 2 years. But really, it's been the greatest creative tool that I have in my arsenal, where I think that every photographer, every artist in general should get an iPad. I don't think that you need the stylus or the keyboard and stuff like that. You can just use voice dictation. You can use your fingers. Very curious about the future of computing. The more that I think about this new Apple Vision Pro thing, I had my critiques about it at first, where I thought, you know, it's going to be kind of weird, whatever. You know, like antisocial, stuff like that. But honestly, it could be cool. Like the more that I think about it, like to be able to sort of use hand gestures and eye tracking, yeah, maybe it's interesting. Maybe it's interesting.
Yeah, this is a lot. We have like so many things.
Yeah, we had 2 birthdays and then it's good to change your opinion about things too. You don't want to have like an opinion and just be like stuck on it. You kind of want to have, whether it's yourself, you know, challenging yourself or other people challenging you. I think that's another way that we can evolve and thrive maybe as humans. Where human thriving has been on my mind, right? How can we all thrive together? Maybe, you know, trying to just help one other person is a good way of thinking, right? Where, yeah, maybe thinking as a collective is a good idea. Thinking in terms of like the human race, right? We are one big family. To be one, where we're all connected. and to not separate ourselves based on basic things like race, sex, etc. I don't know. I guess there's differences obviously between males and females, right? Hormonal differences. I think that the biggest difference, it seems, between men and women are the amount of testosterone that we have. So like what I realize is through the increase of my testosterone, through fasting, getting more sunlight, lifting, and embracing the carnivore diet, I've been experiencing an increase in testosterone, which ultimately makes me more kind. It makes me more gentle, and I don't feel like when I get angry, I sort of I don't lash out or anything. Like if I get angry, most of the time, I can just sort of let it subside. Where maybe people with low testosterone, they're the ones that are more angry and easily susceptible to sort of petty things. And just like an example is like when you're driving and you're stuck in traffic and people are pounding on their wheels and screaming and like so sort of vulgar. I think it has to do with the anonymity where they're behind the car, but also it could just be a low testosterone person actually, the more that I'm thinking about it, because the higher I get my testosterone up, the harder it is for me to like become emotional.
Dude, that's crazy.
Which is,
Oh
I
my
think,
God.
a good thing.
Oh my God.
Where you can curb your emotions in a way and just put it to the side, right? It's good. I think it's a good thing. I feel way more kind and happy and positive, etc. So yeah, maybe there's something about that with testosterone. Like maybe that's like a good determining factor to just, you know, I don't know, something to consider. Luxury apartment rentals. 222. Luxury. What is luxury? I don't like when they say things are luxury, like luxury clothes, luxury apartment, luxury this, luxury that. I'm like, luxury is the time that we have, right? The time spent with family, the time spent doing things that you love, or making someone feel good, or, you know, just enjoying the moment itself, where the time that we have on this earth is the ultimate pleasure and the ultimate sort of sense of luxury. And to transcend time and to sort of think without bounds or limits within time, where when I'm photographing, I exist outside the passage of time, right? Like I kind of like thinking of my photos and my way of making art as a stream of becoming, where each photo I make is exploring my conscious or subconscious mind kind of thing. Not checking the clock, right? When you're moving through the world, you're ultimately moving against time itself, where if you're stationary and sitting around in the airport, right? For instance, just consider the airport, right? And you're sitting there and you're waiting at your gate for your flight, and maybe you have 2 hours to wait. It can feel like an eternity if you're just sitting there. But if you walk around the airport and you're moving your physical body, it feels like there's so much more time. I wonder how long this beautiful work of art here has been here, right? How can we how can we make art that transcends time itself? How can we make art that outlives us, right? Imagine our photographs living for 300 years. You know, a lot of the sculptures and pieces of architecture are so inspiring because of how old they are, maybe how long they've stood. Like there's something to be said about the permanence of the sculptures, and maybe the impermanence is a beautiful thing to explore in terms of photography, where the impermanent nature of everything, right, this sort of wabi-sabi Japanese approach, is a good philosophy, where observing the textures and the wear and tear, whether it's of these leaves or the ground or whatever, the walls and even the bark peeling from the trees, is just an interesting thing to explore, because everything comes and goes, everything ebbs and flows, nothing is permanent, and perhaps nothing does last forever. And that's a beautiful way of exploring photography, where it'll actually unlock more to photograph. It unlocks more potential, where anything and everything becomes photographable, because you see beauty in the sort of wear and tear, in the patina, in the bronzing of sculptures and the cracks on the ground. Yeah, I believe this new wabi-sabi aesthetic and approach that I've been thinking about has been opening me up to just more possibilities with my photography. So this has been here since 1832. This was made in 1832 in Paris, right? 1832, this beautiful sculpture of a lion. I love this one, stomping on the snake. But yeah, how can we future-proof our photos, right? Is the print really the solution? Maybe the digital archive we leave behind can be something to consider more. I think having all like lots of mirrors, both physical, digital, multiple mirrors is a good idea. But I'm much more interested in the digital. Rittenhouse Square Park. This is one of our beautiful parks where I think of it like the melting pot of the city, kind of just like the hub of the city in a way. You know, while City Hall to me is like the heart and the subways are the arteries. This is sort of like maybe this is the soul. Well, I don't know. It's like I like thinking of things in metaphors recently. But yeah, you have like live music, people, trees. It's just a good vibe here. Yeah, this is a beautiful city, Philadelphia. Where when I was in Miami, it doesn't like, I don't know, it's obviously different, but it doesn't feel the same. Like it doesn't feel like a city. Like it doesn't feel like you know, like Philly feels more like a city. It's gritty, it's got diversity to it, like different sort of environments. That's what I kind of mean by that, like the riverside, and then there's like this part of town where there's parks, and then there's the bustling streets, the alleyways. Where when I was in Miami, it just feels like a lot of condos and like homes being built. When I went downtown, it's like just like malls, and like there's the bay, and it's different. But there's not like a city feel. Like this has such a more city feel, like walking down Walnut Street. I don't know, it's just a more authentic experience to me. But really, it doesn't matter where you are. You can practice street photography on the beach, in the mountains, in a small town. It's an ethos. I certainly prefer Philly though. And upon changing from color to black and white, I've been considering the use of black and white in this city and how it actually complements the city very well, based on the architecture, based on the lighting conditions throughout the year, based on my feelings towards this place. It seems as though aesthetically black and white does it justice, but also black and white just allowing more opportunity, where when I photographed in color, especially during the winter here in the city, when it would be darker earlier, I would only go out during the golden hour a lot of the times to photograph. And it's because the use of color, I think it really does lend itself best during certain times of the day. And I don't want any constraints, and I don't want any limitations. And perhaps black and white, it allows this sort of limitless approach. Certainly you can make photos with color in these sort of conditions where it's not beautiful lighting and stuff, but or like good color, but I don't think that it's aesthetically beautiful, and I'm looking to make aesthetically beautiful images. Actually, I think that aesthetics are at the forefront a lot of the time that I go out with my camera nowadays. Seventeenth and Walnut. It's a really nice day. Whenever the sun's out, yeah, you can't really complain, right? The vitamin D, the UV, that's where the power be. Non-stop on the street. Where the city never sleeps. But when I make pictures, perhaps I can dive deep and to uncover the mystery. When I make pictures, it feels like maybe I'm like searching for clues, right? Sort of becoming interested in this idea recently where I'm like my own you know, citizen journalist for the city, you know, where we bear witness as bystanders to sort of think of the work that you create as your own media empire. I think it's an empowering approach. I don't know, I like it. I like thinking of it like this. At the beginning, actually exactly basically 1 year ago, I witnessed a car fire right here at Hotel Palomar. Random car fire. I don't know how it started, but it brought me back to the front lines of conflict in the West Bank, where they would set car tires and big fires. It was pretty crazy. I don't know how it happened. It was just sitting there and it just randomly started to get on fire. The fire department showed up pretty quickly and put it out, but yeah, I managed to get some photos. I think taking risks, you kind of just got to follow your intuition with the risks you take, and it requires this sort of like naivete, actually, and to sort of just empty your mind, where yeah, perhaps being naive allows you to be fearless, actually, or it enables it. Look, they're making the putt shack here. I played putt shack in Miami with my brother. So fun. I've never experienced such a modern and like interesting mini golf course. It was actually incredible. I loved it. It was super awesome. Really fun time, actually. It's gonna be in this Liberty Place Mall. Apparently the Liberty Place towers are the first buildings that were taller than City Hall in Philadelphia. And yeah, I like walking through the malls. There's something about malls that I just like. Like, I just like walking around malls. I don't know why. I don't like to buy any of the junk inside, but I just like to sort of people watch or like change the scenery. Is it open? Looks dark inside. We'll see. Maybe they have Christmas decorations in the stores. I know that the Wanamaker building, they have Christmas decorations and they have a light show. So I'll have to make a video of the light show where they have the organ play. It's one of my favorite things to do. Go listen to the organ every day. You know, I think it's good to have sort of daily rituals in general. And I think repetition is king in street photography, where you can almost force your luck through repetition and through experiencing similar things each day. Like when I consider you know, the way in which I walk through the city, you know, it's good to change the route sometimes, but I actually like walking the same route each day, where you really become in tune with the environment. And yeah, perhaps that's a good idea for street photographers out there. Let's see how warm this is. This is such a warm hoodie. Canada Goose. Oh, the mall's not open? Okay, at 12 o'clock it opens? Okay, thanks, man. What time is it? It's like, why isn't the door opening? Let's see. Oh, it opens in 10 minutes. Help me visualize the Liberty Place Mall. Mall in Philadelphia. Just curious if it actually gives you a visualization of this specific mall. Look, I don't need to go inside. I can just chat GPT it, right? So it's closed. I want to walk towards the... Oh, you know what? That means that the Christmas Village is going to be open at, I think at noon. That's when the Christmas Village begins. Yeah, maybe we should go over there and check it out. See what the visualization of the Liberty Place Mall is. I'm curious. Internet's kind of slow. Here it comes. What the hell? That does not look like it at all. That, you know what? Whoa. So they visualized the Fashion District Mall. That looks like the Fashion District Mall. It actually really does. Like that looks like the main entrance right there. So it just got the malls mixed up maybe. But generally it's cool to sort of just use the tool to visualize whatever. Like anything you think of, you can just generate an image of. It's really cool. A Jimmy John's sandwich shop is coming soon. We love our hoagies, right? The hoagie. What is a hoagie? An Italian hoagie? It's like lunch meat, processed meat on a baguette, or not a baguette, some sort of roll, bread, salami, cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion, olive oil, salt, pepper, other spices. The hoagie. Those are our famous foods. The hoagie, cheesesteak. And if it's not a cheesesteak with whiz cheese, it's not a real cheesesteak. Water ice. And yeah, pretzels. Soft pretzels, water ice, cheesesteaks, hoagies. So there's gonna be Santa Claus. I love when there's a Santa Claus in the mall. Hey, here's Santa Claus. He's got a bell too, it's jingling. So what else is on my mind? Empty your mind, be like water. The Zen Zone, right? This is the place you want to be. I mean, right now I'm, you know, thinking and talking and walking, but actually when you're photographing, maybe it's better to, like, I don't know that I can really make these videos and photograph at the same time, which is fine. Like if I see something, I'll make a snapshot, but you know, actually doing one thing at a time is maybe wise, right? Where photographing, it requires this like ultimate focus, actually, maybe, where I don't think you want to be thinking too much. Like I think that with street photography it becomes this like Zen-like meditative practice where you kind of shut everything off and you're just tuned in to the street. And that's why I believe that like anyone that's walking around with AirPods in taking pictures, like they're definitely not focused, right? I think that if you have AirPods in while you're photographing, it's so distracting. You want to actually hear things, right? When you hear things on the street, you can be more reactive and actually follow the beat of the street, right? I like thinking of the beat of the street and almost considering the sounds of the street like music. I was thinking actually recently, I was like, I should try to make my own music. I think that would be a fun project to maybe use GarageBand or some other software and try to make my own songs. Because yeah, it seems like music is a distraction. A lot of modern music is like toxic, degenerate stuff. The lyrics are really distracting. And it's better maybe to listen to music without lyrics, where you can kind of just focus if you want to listen to music. Yeah, it seems like music's a big distraction. So I'm a big fan of the organ. But you know, life without music is a bore perhaps. It's good to find certain artists that you like and sort of just only listen to them. But anything that like sort of increases your energy is good. I don't like the sort of depressing, emo, sad sort of music. But actually music that puts you in a good mood is a good idea. Recently I've been listening to like country music sometimes. Like there's some country songs that are really uplifting and positive and nice, and I actually kind of like the lyrics in some of the country songs, but it's very different from what I've you know, grown up listening to, mostly like hip-hop and stuff. Was listening to the song Changes by Tupac this morning. You know, how to change the world? Change yourself, right? We got to change ourselves first, and perhaps the spark of change occurs through that simple act. But yeah, I remember listening to Tupac and during my basketball practices and stuff, like going to basketball games and whatever was popular at the time. I remember that artist Akon. What was that? It's like, smack that all on the floor, smack that. That shit was hilarious. Now that I think back at it, like I don't think I took, like we like we would listen to that in the car and just like be cracking up actually. Because it's just a ridiculous the lyrics are just funny to me. Oh man, so it looks like a lot of the shops are actually closed, but perhaps it's just a matter of time. It's like it's not even midday yet. I guess they're still waiting. Like it's still early, so. But yeah, the Christmas Village will open soon enough. Maybe we can go over to the Love Park instead. They've got the ice rink out. People are at the ice rink. But yeah, it seems like it opens more in the afternoon than the morning. Smack that, give me some more. Smack that. Smack that and spread holiday cheer in an instant. You know, I want to make photographs in an instant sketch of life, right? Where we can use photography as the universal language, and almost considering, you know, the camera as our pen, like a writer would consider, you know, their tool. And maybe street photography as poetry, street photography as a sketch, right? Black and white, stripped down to the basics. What's that sound? Here's my favorite area with the pigeons. My GoPro's at 1 bar. I think I've had this on for too long. Christmas Village. Yeah, it's just opening up slowly right now. See like maybe 1 or 2 shops that are opening. But yeah, this is the best time to come to Philadelphia. If you want to come to Philly, this is the best time to. Center City, Love Park, Christmas Village. Before it opens. The smell of the bratwurst, the sausages they sell. Here's our famous love sign. They have a stage in the center. Beer garden, benches. Yeah, this is what smells good, the sausages. There's something about the smell. And there's an indoor shop area, and then here's the stage. Bunch of red tables, holiday spirit, stuffed animals, and said Angry Birds. Angry Birds, scarves, ornaments, and then here is the Christmas tree and City Hall standing tall in the background. Presented by Bank of America. More Christmas Village vlogs to come, because I'll be here every day this winter. It's the best place to shoot.
Thank you so much. Enjoy. Kind of cool to get him like